A miracle happens every time Mass is celebrated in a Catholic church. The bread and wine become the body and blood of Jesus. But sometimes, to bolster one's faith, Eucharistic miracles happen. On October 12th in 2008, as Mass was being celebrated at 8 in the morning, a consecrated host fell from the hands of one of the priests who was distributing communion. He placed it in a container of water to allow it to dissolve over time and then later be disposed of correctly. At the end of Mass, the pastor asked Sister Julia, the parish sacristan, to pour the water and the host into a different enclosed container. She then placed the container in the safe in the church's sacristy, which only she and the pastor had keys to. On October 19, the pastor asked Sister Julia to check if the host had dissolved for proper disposal. But when she opened the safe, she saw a red stain in the middle of the host. Several priests were brought to observe what had happened, and they were all amazed, but kept silent about the matter, as investigations are needed to be considered with such cases, and knowing that the red stain could possibly result from some other natural cause. The Archbishop was soon alerted and made his way with several priests and professors to examine the host. He ordered that the host be protected by removing it from the water, placing it on a pure white altar cloth, and keeping the container locked in the tabernacle, which was kept that way for observation for 3 years. The host with the blood stain over time dried out naturally and was fused with the altar cloth. On January 7th in 2009, a sample of the host was examined independently by 2 eminent specialists in pathological anatomy to ensure the credibility of the results. Both studies concluded that the heart tissue of a living person nearing death was identical to the structure of the blood-stained portion of the host. The structure of the heart muscle fibers was inseparably interconnected with the consecrated host. According to one of the professors, this phenomenon would be impossible to achieve by any human means and was inexplicable by all natural sciences. The studies also showed that the heart tissue had signs of spasms typically preceding death and had lesions observable only in a living person. Eucharistic miracles are evidence of the real presence for the doubters out there. Christ wants to draw even greater attention to the Eucharist in the Church and wants us to make the Eucharist the center of our Christian lives.